Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. So this is the Multipolar World Order channel. It's a brand new channel I opened, and so far 1,000 of you have moved across, and I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. This is the high IQ space, only reserved for high IQ people. So if you're already part of the channel, congratulations. You are part of the high IQ club. If you are not high IQ, if you are low IQ, you are still welcome here. We don't discriminate. And if you listen to our stuff enough, you too can become high IQ. So this is why we don't discriminate. You're welcome to join in and listen. It's not a problem with us. So what's the high IQ topic for today? We're going to talk about Greater Israel and whether the Greater Israel project is dead because of Iran, or is the Greater Israel project still happening? So we're going to discuss that. And we're also going to discuss something that nobody else is also discussing. We're also going to be talking about Greater Iran as well. So without further ado, guys, let's start the show. So many of you would know that Israel has Greater Israel aspirations. And we know this because the IDF wear the Greater Israel map on their sleeves, and it's plain and obvious for everyone to see. And Netanyahu openly shows the Greater Israel map many times in news conferences and talks. He literally shoves it in people's faces, and so does his administration as well. So we know that the Greater Israel Project is something that Israel wants to do, and they're already doing it. It started with Palestine, with Gaza. Obviously, Palestine is Gaza. What I'm talking about is all of Palestine. So they've already taken most of Gaza, and they are taking it bit by bit. Genocided God knows how many people. Some people estimate up to 600,000. And now they're starting to take over southern Lebanon. And they've taken over most of West Bank anyway. So it looks like they've started their Greater Israel project, and they've also taken parts of Syria as well. And you can see from the map where the Greater Israel project is. It's basically covers the Sinai Desert, covers a lot of Egypt, and he also covers the Suez Canal. So Egypt's lifeline is the Suez Canal, where they make a lot of money from the Suez Canal. So Israel obviously wants that. They also take over a lot of Saudi Arabia, as you can see, and all of Jordan, uh, majority of Iraq, and you can see it goes all the way up to the Persian Gulf, or the Strait of Persia, and he also takes over most of Syria. However, I have been looking at some Israeli websites, and the Israeli websites actually go further. The Israeli websites show, this is it, by the way. So the Israeli websites show the biblical borders of the land of Israel, and you can see it covers Cyprus. Can you see that little island of Cyprus? And he also covers all of Turkey, well, not all of Turkey, most of Turkey, majority of Turkey, I should say. And you can see it goes all the way up to the Black Sea. And this is probably a better idea. You can see the actual borders. So it goes all the way to the Persian Gulf, and you can see it takes over all of Kuwait is gone, all of Jordan is gone. Pretty much around 30% of Saudi Arabia is gone. Egypt is gone. Lebanon is gone. All of Syria is gone. And it goes all the way to the Caspian Sea. And he also takes over most of Turkey. So that's what they want, Greater Israel. And the only stumbling block for Israel is Iran. Because pretty much the rest of the GCC countries and the Middle Eastern countries They will roll over without a fight, guys. And I'm not talking about the people here. I'm talking about the governments. The governments will pretty much hand it over, exactly like they're doing in Lebanon. Do you see any government forces fighting Israel in Lebanon? None, none whatsoever, guys. Zero. The only people fighting Israel in Lebanon is Hezbollah. And anybody fight? You know, did anyone fight Israel in Syria when they took over some land in Syria recently? Nobody. And again, if they take over Jordan, nobody will stop them. I guarantee you that. The leadership will just let them pass, no problem. If they take over 30 or 40% of Saudi Arabia might put up a little bit of a fight, but they're not going to last long because they are a puppet as well. Just like, the United States pretty much control Saudi Arabia. They control their air airspace, bases. Pretty much most of the weapons they buy is American weapons, and Americans will probably shut them down. The navigation system, satellites, everything is Americanized by guy. Yeah, everything is Americanized, and you can see most of Iraq. There's a funny story with Iraq. Apparently, there's a secret Israeli base they found in Iraq, which they were using to launch attacks into Iran. And some farmer found this secret base, and they basically killed him. So Israel pretty much can do whatever they want in that region. Nobody will put up a fight. I don't see Al Jilani of Syria putting up any fights with Israel whatsoever. So this whole region that you're looking at is pretty much um, Israel's there to be taken. However, there will be people and there will be, resistance, like you see with Hamas, like you see with Hezbollah. You have some Iraqi resistance groups as well. So there will be resistance, but these will be led by the people, not led by the governments. So Israel's main problem is Iran, but the other problem is Turkey as well. Turkey is a growing military might, and they are also in NATO. So what Israel is trying to do is trying to get Turkey kicked out of NATO, and they're getting the help of United States to do that. And another reason why Israel finds Turkey a threat is because of Cyprus. There's a lot of Israelis moving to Cyprus. They're buying a lot of properties and they're moving all the way to Cyprus. And pretty much in the next few years, you're going to see more Israelis living in Cyprus than Cypriots. And not many people know this, but half of Cyprus is owned by Turkey. So northern part of Cyprus is owned by Turkey. And so they want to basically kick Turkey out. They want to take over all of Cyprus. So that's why they make Turkey as the enemy. You also go. Great Israel also goes all the way up to the Caspian Sea. You can see, and it takes over a little bit of land of Azerbaijan as well. And funnily enough, Azerbaijan are puppets of Israel. They have oil and gas pipeline going from Azerbaijan into Turkey, and from Turkey it goes to Israel. So Azerbaijan also are very pro-Israeli. There's a pro-Israeli government in Azerbaijan as well, and Azerbaijan also provide, lots of intelligence and other things to attack Iran as well. So Azerbaijan works with Israel and works with the United States, so they cannot be trusted. But again, you can see from the Great Israel map, they won't be spared. So, question is, can Israel do this? You know, the fact that they cannot take Iran down. If they took Iran down, if America and Israel took Iran down, this Great Israel project would have happened easily, guys. There would have been nobody in the Middle East to stop them. Nobody. apart from Turkey. But I doubt if Turkey would have done anything, to be honest. They've done nothing throughout what happened with Palestine. Erdogan talks a big game, but he really doesn't do anything. And he's also part of NATO as well. So Turkey's hands are tied at the moment. And plus, Turkey is having huge economic problems as well. They do have a good military, but in terms of the economy, is absolutely crap. The Turkish economy, the Turkish lira has been falling. There's huge inflations in Turkey, and they're not having the best of the times when it comes to the economy. So I doubt if Turkey would be a major threat to Israel and United States. However, Iran has changed everything. I think the plan was they were gonna take down Iran, put a pro-Israeli government in Iran, like somebody like Shah Pahlavi. And Shah Pahlavi used to be, well, his father used to be the Shah of Iran before the Islamic Revolution kicked him out. And they ran away to the United States. And Shah Pahlavi is his son, basically. And nobody takes him seriously, guys. Nobody takes him seriously. First of all, he's got a wife, and his wife is having an affair with her trainer, and this is well documented everywhere. And she does it in front of his face. She does it. She's not hiding it, and he allows it. So if his own wife doesn't respect him, how does he expect ordinary Iranians to respect him? And he's also calling for Iran to be bombed. Every interview, he comes on, he's calling for Iran to be bombed. I mean, what kind of leader asks for his own country to be bombed? And he also he's also been seen kissing the wall in Israel, and he's literally an Israeli puppet, guys, basically, put it that way. So he'll be perfect for Israel. Unfortunately for him, nobody takes him seriously in Iran. If he sets foot in Iran, he will disappear very, very quickly. He will be kidnapped, and they will literally torture him. So where are we right now? I think Trump wants to have a deal with Iran. He doesn't want to carry on, fighting Iran and get stuck in a quagmire. Obviously, Israel wants United States to fight Iran for them. Their plan has completely failed. Iran, they thought that they're going to bomb Iran and Iran's going to capitulate and surrender. It hasn't happened. In fact, it's gone even worse for Israel and United States, because Iran is now taking control of the Strait of Persia, and now they're going to make lots of money from toll charges, security charges, and other charges from that waterway. And also, Iran fighting United States and Israel, they have become a regional superpower in the region, and they will just get stronger and stronger, because all of this will give them a huge lift, guys, a huge lift for the country. Lots of confidence, and this is just going to accelerate the country's rise. They're going to make a lot of money. A lot of countries will want to deal with Iran after this, and plus, a lot of these rail lines going into China, going into Russia. There's also some boats going from Caspian Sea from Iran to Russia as well. So a lot of these transport links will mature over the next few years, and Iran will be almost like the center of the world when it comes to a regional hub. And so Iran's also got lots of untapped resources, lots of oil, lots of gas, and plus lots of, rare earth minerals and other minerals as well. And I can see Iran, becoming not just a military superpower over the next few years, but also an economic superpower. And I think the whole region will change because of it. And this is bad news for Israel and bad news for United States. For, but for one thing, for Iran to stay a regional superpower, They need to have nuclear weapons. They need to be able to protect themselves with that. Because you see, Russia has lots of nuclear weapons. So does China, and nobody in their right minds would invade either Russia or China. Nobody, or even North Korea. Let's just uh, let's just be real here. So Iran needs to have a nuke. Some say they already have a nuke in secret. You know, and this is one of the reasons why Trump had to stop the war, because I believe that they probably got some sort of intelligence that obviously it's not 100% sure, but there might be a small chance that Iran could have built its own nuke and not told anyone. Only for, only for security purposes in case they get nuked by, by the United States or Israel. And why do they think that? Why is there a small chance? Only because they have the capability. They can enrich uranium to 60%. That's a fact. But they can also do it to much higher as well. They have shown they have got the capability to go higher. They have hypersonic weapons as well. They have the technology to build weapons and missiles, launch systems. So they have the capability, guys, and most of it is underground. So you don't know what they are doing underground. They could be building loads of nukes. United States and Israel just don't know, and they did not want to take that chance. That's why they didn't probably nuke them, because they thought, yeah, if they were 100% sure Iran had no nukes, you would have guaranteed Trump would have dropped those nukes on Iran, guaranteed. But because maybe they thought, maybe the intelligence thought they had maybe a small chance they might have nukes, maybe a 5% chance or a 10% chance. I believe they didn't take the chance, because just in case, they know they have the capability, but even if there's a 5% chance they could have nukes, they would not take that. They would not take that chance, because that would have meant the end of Israel and all of the military bases in the region, all of his allies in the region, like UAE and stuff. So it's not worth the risk, basically. So I believe that's why they backed off. So if Iran does have nukes, I believe they need to build more, um, at least 300 or 500, because that's how many Israel has got allegedly. Obviously, nobody's confirmed or denied that, but that's allegedly how much Israel has got, around 300 or something like that. So that's what Iran needs, and before they can even think of becoming a superpower, as a minimum they would need those nukes. Um, Iran will probably need to build more underground bases. Um, this war has shown that these underground bases have been very, very helpful to Iran. They have been taking a lot of damage from United States and Israel. However, the damage has been extremely small in the underground bases. These bunker busters have not been able to go down far enough, because most of them are under mountains, and these bunker busters cannot go through mountains, not fully anyway. So Iran, we're going to see the whole region change, and so what does it mean for Greater Israel then? I think it's pretty much finished. I think the Israelis are looking for the Greater Israel still. I think they're going to take southern Lebanon. I think they'll want to take that. I don't know if they will achieve it, because Hezbollah's given them a really good hiding. So I think they will push for southern Lebanon as much as they can. They will probably take most of the West Bank and most of Gaza, unfortunately. And I think eventually they'll probably take Jordan and parts of Syria. And I think they might stop there, I believe. I do not think that they can take Saudi Arabia for now, and also Turkey. Definitely not. unless Turkey is kicked out of NATO or something like that. So I believe there will be some sort of greater Israel, but not like what you see in this map. However, Iran is not going to let them. Iran is going to carry on providing weapons and, intelligence and technology to the resistance, like Hezbollah, like Hamas. But Iran's job has been made extremely difficult because of Syria. Syria has been taken over with a regime change, and they seem to be very, very pro-West, pro-Israel. So this has made things difficult for Iranian weapons to go all the way to Hezbollah. As you can see, for Iran to deliver to Hezbollah, they have to go through Iraq or Turkey, then go through Syria, and then go into Lebanon. And if they do it by boat, it's extremely long journey. They have to go all the way around, probably all the way around Africa. To be honest, I don't think they can send weapons through the um, Suez Canal. So things that have become extremely difficult for Iran. So let's talk about Greater Iran. Actually, before I go to Greater Iran, I also want to talk economics. I think when it comes to Greater Israel, there's a few things that you need to achieve your goals for Greater Israel. Number one, obviously, you need a very strong military. And I don't think Israel has got a very strong military. They're literally getting their ass kicked in Hezbollah by Hezbollah at the moment. And they pretty much got their ass kicked by Hamas as well. Hamas is not a real military, by the way. They're a resistance group. And and they gave them a really good fight for 2 to 3 years. And even now, Hamas has not been defeated. I don't think Hamas is even weakened, to be honest. But Israel is very good at killing women and children. That's what they've done mostly. But in terms of weakening Hamas, I don't think they've done that. Same with Hezbollah. So I don't think they're a very good. I don't think they are a very good military force, an invasion force to take over most of the Middle East with the Greater Israel. However, they do have a very good aircrafts. They buy all the best aircrafts from United States, and they buy all the bombs from United States. So that's what they're good at. They're good at dropping bombs and using the aircraft. So in terms of economics, even economically, I don't think Israel can take over the Greater Israel project, mainly because um, those of you who follow Israel, you will know that Israel is actually having huge economic issues because of all these wars. You know, they've been fighting Hamas for 2, 3 years, and now they're fighting Hezbollah. They are losing so much equipment. Right now in Lebanon, they are losing, you know, hundreds of tanks they've lost so far, guys, hundreds of tanks. And this is all documented. They've been taken out by FPV drones, and these FPV drones were tried and tested in Russia-Ukraine conflict. And Russia shared the technology with Iran, and Iran then shared the technology with Hezbollah. And these are the latest FPV drones, by the way. And initially, Iran helped Russia with the Shahid drones earlier in the conflict. But what Russia did was improved on those drones in every way. And then Russia sent the improvements to Iran, and then Iran has done the same to Hezbollah. And they're causing massive havoc in for Israeli forces. Prior to that, Hamas did a lot of damage to Israeli forces as well. They were taking out tanks, and snipers were taking out Israeli soldiers left, right, and center. So Israel is losing a lot of money militarily, and they're going to have to pay a lot of money to replace all of that. Excuse me. And also, a lot of people are leaving Israel because of all these wars and fighting. They've already lost hundreds of thousands of people. More are leaving every single day. Plus, a lot of businesses are shut down. because most of the workers are, they've joined the IDF. They're fighting in Lebanon, and they're not getting any tourism fee money as well because it's a war zone, so they're not getting the tourists. Also, there's a lot of countries boycotting Israeli goods as well because of what they're doing to the Palestinian people. The GEN, I can't say the word. YouTube doesn't like it for some reason, and so a lot of people are boycotting Israeli goods, and countries are stopping their funding to Israel, and companies are basically stopped investing in Israel as well, or they've put a hold investing in Israel. So whichever way you look at it, guys, Israel is losing money fighting all these wars. The only thing keeping Israel up is American tax dollars, because Americans are actually paying for all of it. Because you have Congress, pretty much all of them are APAC owned, who are Israel first. And now and then, what they do, they put a bill together to send funding to Israel, and all of them vote yes. So money does go to Israel regularly at the expense of American taxpayers, unfortunately. Also, guys, do you remember Professor Jiang? So Professor Jiang is everywhere at the moment, and he's become famous because of his predictions. So far, his predictions have not come true for Iran, by the way, because he said that America would send ground troops to Iran. I doubt if that's true, or I doubt if that will happen, to be honest. He also said that Israel wants American bases to be out of the region so Israel can become a superpower. That's what he says. You're welcome to check his videos. I do not think that's true because Israel needs United States in the area, because Israel uses United States airspace and bases in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, Qatar, Bahrain. All of these countries allow USA to have a free reign. They allow their airspace to. I don't know if they have a choice, but they do allow American airspace. And if Americans are allowed airspace, then they Americans allow Israelis into that airspace because American controls the airspace. So they can control whoever comes in, whoever doesn't. So Israel uses it as well, and they also use the bases in the Middle East as well. I don't know again if they have a choice or not, but America uses their bases to launch attacks on Iran, and also you know America has got all the influence in the Middle East as well, like all the influence, and if America leaves the region, Israel will not be able to use, these bases and airspaces in these Middle Eastern countries. They just won't allow it. The only reason they allow it is because America is allowing it, or they allow it. They allow it to America, and America allows it to Israel. So if America leaves, there is no way these Middle Eastern countries will allow their airspace to be used by Israel. No way, 100%. And also, Israel uses a lot of American weapons, and the refueling aircraft, these are all American aircraft, and they need these refueling aircrafts to launch attacks on Iran. They need all the bombs and all the satellite navigation. Everything, intelligence, everything they get is from America. So without America in the region, there is no way Israel can push its military goals. No way, 100%. So Professor Jung is wrong in that sense. So Israel needs United States in the region. So let's talk about Iran. So this is a map of the Persian Empire back in the day, 500 BC. This was the Persian Empire. So this is Iranians are Persians basically. So you can see Persian Empire covered nearly all of Turkey, As you can see, they've also used to control Palestine, uh, Iraq, Kuwait, and obviously it goes into Central Asia, further into Central Asia as well. Um, Most of Egypt, by the looks of it as well, Cyprus, and also into Europe as well, parts of it into Europe. So it was a huge Persian Empire back in the day. So this is how Iran looks right now. So this is what I suggest actually. So this is what I suggest. I mean, Iran doesn't need to have the same aspirations as the Persian Empire, but however, security is very important to Iran. And I think once, once the American bases leave the region, I think Iran's next goal is to secure their borders, and keep out, um, basically Israeli puppets and Israeli interests in the regions. So this is what Iran will need to do to safeguard its security. So this part is pretty much safe. This part, Central Asia, is pretty much safe. All of these countries are friendly to Iran. And I don't think Iran has to worry about anything coming from here, apart from Balochistan, which is around the southern part of here. But Balochistan hasn't caused any issues during this stage, so I don't think there will be much happening on that side. Azerbaijan seems to be a problem. So Azerbaijan, as I said, is a pro Israeli country, and Israel provides sort of intelligence weapons, and they also host, I believe, some secret Israeli bases in there, and they provide intelligence to Israel as well from the region. And most importantly, there's a pipeline that goes to Turkey, and Turkey provides oil directly to Israel from there. So I think Iran will probably need to take care of that pipeline, so no oil goes to Israel. Because if they can starve Israel from having oil, you know, that will stop Israel's plans for a greater Israel, and also it will stop Israel's plans to attack Iran in the future. So I think Iran needs to sort that problem out, whether they need to do it diplomatically or militarily. Either way, that is an issue they will need to sort out. So another issue Iran has is northern Iraq, which are the Kurds. So what we know about the Kurds is the Kurds are not very friendly to Iran. They're actually very pro-Israeli. And we also know that Trump has provided them a lot of weapons and a lot of intelligence and a lot of drones and sophisticated weapons. So they could at some point attack Iran. You know, it could be very, very dangerous. So what I suggest is Iran actually takes over this region, northern Iraq. And I say this because I think that for many reasons, and I'll explain why. First of all, they will take care of that security with the Kurds. First of all, secondly, they will reach Syria. And so, why is it important to reach Syria? So, once they reach Syria, I believe that Iran can work with Syrian nationalists to get the country back. Because at the moment, the Syrian leader seems to be very pro-Western, pro-Israeli, and I think he's going to try and destroy the country. So there are a lot of Syrians and a lot of Assad, pro-Assad groups out there, and I think Iran can work with these groups to get their country back. And if they can get their country back, even if they get half of Syria back, say let's just say northern part of Syria, and that would give Iran, access to Lebanon. You can see, and once they have access to Lebanon, they can help Hezbollah even more to get their land back in the southern Lebanon, and also provide them with more weaponry and other things as well. And if Hezbollah drives Israel out of Lebanon, Iran can then focus on helping Palestine and Hamas and stuff like that, and eventually try and free Palestine. So also, guys, let's talk about other regions as well. So you have Kuwait here. I think the best solution for Kuwait is to rejoin Iraq. And the reason I say this is because Iran has taken northern Iraq, but northern Iraq is not controlled by Iraq anyway. Northern Iraq is totally controlled by the Kurds. They have their own government. They have their own um, oil and gas. They run everything themselves. The Iraqi government does not control northern Iraq. That's why I don't think Iraq would complain very much if Iran takes northern Iraq. And I think Iraq would probably help them if Iran tells them, look, we're doing this to free Palestine and also to free Syria, to free Lebanon. And I believe Iraq will probably help them. And and as a return for that favor, I believe Iran will probably help Iraq retake Kuwait. And because Kuwait used to be part of Iraq, if you look at the history. Bahrain will go back to being Iran. Bahrain used to be part of Iran at one point, and Bahrain has got a huge Shia population, so Bahrain will probably go back to Iraq. And I do believe that Iran will have to take the northern part of the Hormuz. Part of it is owned by Oman, and Iran can probably just pay them off or provide them with other um, security or provide them with a share of the cash from the Hormuz Strait or the Persian Strait. And the reason I say this is because this could be a flashpoint in the future. Because for Iran to totally control the strait, they need to have control of northern UAE. And they also need to keep an eye on UAE as well, because UAE has shown itself to be an absolute puppet of the West, a puppet of Israel as well as United States. So if Iran ignores this area, you could have UAE, given this area to Israeli bases and American bases, and American and Israeli bases could have maybe nukes or something in that region. So that region could be very, very dangerous. And I believe Iran will probably need to take over this region and and basically totally control the Strait of Persia. And like I said, Iran can only do this once they have nukes. Right now, they won't be able to do it, but this could be done sometime in the future. And then once they do this, UAE will probably come under some sort of control. They will probably realize that Iran is becoming the superpower. They'll need to work with Iran, and I think that's the only way they can keep control of UAE. They'll also probably need to get rid of all the American bases in the region, in Qatar, and all these other bases in Saudi Arabia. But they will go eventually as Iran becomes more and more powerful in the region. The United States bases will start to disappear all across these regions. And that's how Iran wins, guys. And and if Iran does manage to free Palestine, they would be absolutely loved by 2 billion Muslims around the world. They will be looked at as heroes for centuries because they are the ones that eventually managed to free Palestine. The other Gulf countries have done nothing for their brothers and sisters. Absolutely nothing. In fact, they probably helped Israel to do it, to do the GEN, if you know what I mean. And yeah, if Iran can pull this off, it won't be easy, guys, because Israel is not a small country, and they have a very, very good military. They have the backing of the United States. So it's not going to be easy, and it's not something It can be done very quickly. It's going to take a lot of time. And time is on Iran's hands at the moment because the longer things take, the more powerful Iran will become because their transport links will become more mature. Their the Belt and Road and the transport links going via Iran into Europe will become mature. Their oil and gas facilities would start churning out more oil and gas for the rest of the world. They'll probably be doing more mining to sell more minerals to the rest of the world. And their tech sector will start growing, and they'll also have lots of investment coming in. They'll have a lot of investment coming in from the Gulf, from China, from Russia. So time is on Iran's hands. Iran will only go stronger from here. They'll become much more stronger when it comes to the military. They'll have an air force. They'll have a proper navy, a proper submarine force as well. So time is on Iran's hands. The longer this takes, the more powerful Iran will become. And this is why Israel and America are attacking Iran now, because they feel that now is the time to attack Iran, because if they wait any longer, Iran will, pass the point where they become just too strong. They'll end up with nuclear weapons and they'll become militarily very strong. It's going to be extremely difficult to take down, just like Russia and China. So they believe that now is the time to attack Iran. That's why they're doing it. The longer it takes for Israel, things get worse for Israel because, as you know, the West is going down economically. The dollar's not doing too well. They're under huge debt. The United States, economically is not doing very well, and Israel is not doing very well economically. So the long-term prospects for these countries to do well is not looking good. So if they need to do anything now, now's the time. The world is going multipolar, guys. The world is going towards China, towards Russia, and eventually towards Iran. Anyway, guys, hope you like the show. Let me know what you guys think, and it's quite interesting to know your thoughts as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now. Bye bye.